welcome back. Today we are going to do a review and an application of the Makeup Forever Water Blend Foundation. I was so excited to try this because I had seen so many reviews on it, but they were all so different. So some people loved it, some people were like, it's okay, but I would never repurchase it, and other people were like, big thumbs down. So I figured I would purchase it and see what it was all about. If you're interested in hearing what I think about this foundation and seeing an application, then just keep watching. Okay, so I got this in the shade Y305. I will start off by saying that is too dark for me. I was looking at the two darkest light shades, if that makes sense, in the yellow tones. I think it was like Y225 and Y245 maybe, and those were the two I was going towards. I think Y245 would have been absolutely perfect. I was approached by somebody at Sephora and she wanted to use the color IQ. I hate the color IQ. I think it's a really cool concept, but for me it doesn't work because I have a lot of redness on my face, so it'll pull up that I have pink undertones, and I don't. I have a yellow undertone, but my face has pink on it. So she actually tried to do it on my face and then also tested my arms. Well, my arms are a different color than my face, so ultimately the color is a little too dark. It's not something that can't be worked with, but just thought I'd put that out there. So I think Y305 is the lightest of the medium shades for the yellow undertones. So my overall impression of this foundation is it's okay. It's not what I was hoping it would be, and it's better than it could have been, you know? It's sheer, like you would think with a water blend foundation. It does build up, and it doesn't get cakey, but on my skin it didn't hold up the way I wanted it to. I did try it out. I was going to do a first impressions, but I'm kind of glad I didn't because the skincare I was using had oil in it that I was not aware of. I'm dry skin, so I love oil. Give me all the oil. But with a water foundation, you don't want to use oil because water and oil, you know, separate. So obviously using an oil-based moisturizer wouldn't be the best choice for a water-based foundation. It wouldn't really adhere the way that you wanted it to. So the first time I used this, I used a moisturizer that had oil in it, and I was like, what in the world is going on? Why is this looking so weird? So I finally looked at the ingredients of my moisturizer. Turns out it has all kinds of oils in there. The second time I made sure to use a moisturizer that did not have any oils in it. I used the Dermalogica Intensive Moisture Moisturizer. That's a tongue twister. I cannot talk. Take a minute, pull yourself together. The second time I used it with that oil-free moisturizer, but I used the Too Faced Hangover RX Primer, thinking that it was water-based. It's not. It has oils in it. It has all kinds of oils in it. It is silicone-free, so that obviously didn't work out. So the third time around, 3 times, I was like, okay, maybe third time's the charm. I tried it with the oil-free moisturizer and just did not use a primer. Did not use a primer because I didn't want to, you know, mess anything up. And it worked okay. I mean, it looked good. I used about 3 layers of it, but it's so hot here in the South right now. Like, the humidity is on another level. It's disgusting. But I wore it out for the day. I kept checking in and looking in the mirror to see if it was settling, and I hated it. I was so self-conscious the entire day I wore it. We were out furniture shopping. We're moving, that's why it's blank back here. We're getting rid of furniture and all kinds of stuff. So hopefully once we move, I'll have an appropriate room to do this and it won't just be, you know, awkward and blank and whatever. But we were furniture shopping and I was so embarrassed. I was like, everyone is staring at my face. Everyone is staring at my face. Nobody was staring at my face, but in my mind, everybody was like, look at this girl, ooh. But nobody was. Maybe they were, I don't know. It was settled, like the area I noticed it was settling the most were my smile lines. And foundation typically settles there. I mean, I have pretty intense smile lines, smile a lot, smiling's my favorite. But it was settling, like it was like almost like caking into those smile lines and creating like a Grand Canyon of a smile line. It was really gross. So I really just wanted to get home and wash it off. The second thing I didn't like about it was the feeling of it. It remains sticky. So, like I said, it's really humid here in the South. So, I mean, humidity automatically makes everything sticky, but when you have a sticky foundation and then you have humidity, it's like, ugh, it's so gross. So, like, the wind would blow and your hair would just, you know, and it would stick to your foundation. It wouldn't just, like, move away, it would stick. And you were, like, trying to pull off, like, pieces of hair that were, like, stuck to your face. It was pretty gross feeling. I am wearing it today because there is a demo on this foundation of how I apply it and what the coverage looks like. Today I did powder it with some MAC Mineralized Skin Finish Natural over top. And I'm gonna be honest, it feels a lot better. It does not feel as sticky as it does when you don't powder it. And I'm not somebody who typically powders my foundations, if that's any help to anybody. I know a lot of people out there are like ride or die with setting their foundation. I am not, because most foundations look okay on me without being powdered, and as soon as I add in powder, it's like instant cake face. Instant cake face. So I did powder today just because I don't want that sticky feeling, and I will say that that helped. I will definitely say that that helped. It doesn't feel sticky. I will also say it's kind of necessary to powder it, because when you don't, like you try to apply your bronzer and it just sticks, like it gets really patchy because it starts sticking to different areas on that foundation, which is not cute, and it makes it really hard to work with. Something I will say is really good about this foundation, it's waterproof. I think it says it's waterproof. It doesn't say on the bottle that it's waterproof. This baby is waterproof. After I was like, get this stuff off my face, I went to try and wash it off, and it was like the water was just like beating up and just repelling. I think it would have been good to have an oil cleanser to like rub off and just get all of that makeup off. I definitely used my Clarisonic on the highest speed when I was taking it off, because I did not trust that just a cleanser and my hands were taking off all of the makeup. So that's really good for people who want that long wearing foundation. It is waterproof, which is a definite pro. It just didn't really work on my skin. So we're gonna get into the application so you can see how I applied it and see what you think. To apply this foundation, I've been using a brush. This is the Real Techniques buffing brush, and I've really enjoyed using this as my preferred method of application. I tried a beauty blender, which is my go-to, and it just soaks it up, soaks everything up. So we're just gonna use the brush, and it says to shake it up really, really well. I'm just gonna pump it onto the back of my hand. I just did three pumps because you do have to build it up. This stuff is sheer. So I'm just gonna dab it around. I do not have a primer on because I don't have any water-based primers. I have like silicone primers, but I hate silicone. Like silicone primers, you know, I feel like they just slide off your face. See, I used 3 pumps, and just for the first layer, I'm almost out like of the whole foundation. So you have to use a lot. More comes in this bottle than a standard foundation bottle, but you have to use more. So it's really not, you're not getting a value or anything. So that is 1 layer, and it's really sheer. It kind of perfects a little bit, but it's really sheer. I feel like for 3 pumps, that's a lot of foundation to get this sheer of a coverage. Like if I'm looking at my face right now, it does not look like I'm wearing a foundation. It looks shiny, but it doesn't look like there's just makeup caked on or anything like that. But that's 3 pumps. So that is the second layer, and it's still pretty sheer, but it does have more coverage than the first, obviously. But it feels like foundation. Like, to me, this feeling is disgusting. I hate it. It's still really sheer. This is not the kind of coverage I would want to go for personally. So we're gonna keep trying to build it up even more. We'll go for one more layer. That'll be the third layer, and then we'll just call it quits. So shake it up again, and we'll do about 1.5 pumps. So that is 3 layers. I'm gonna zoom you in to see if you can see what this looks like. I don't know if you can see. It looks very shiny. Okay coverage, but nothing crazy. I'd say it's like a sheer medium. At best, it's a sheer medium. That's with 3 layers. And personally, I wouldn't want to go anymore. Not because I don't want more coverage, but because the feeling of it. It feels like I am layering and layering makeup. So that is the look with 3 layers. Okay, so now that you guys saw the application, you saw kind of the coverage before there's any concealer or powder or anything like that. It does come with 1.69 ounces and it retails for $43. I used 3 pumps on that first coat, probably 2 pumps on the second, and then like 1 pump. I pumped out more than I needed on the last one. So there's probably like 5 or 6 pumps of foundation on my face, which to me is excessive because normally I use between 1.5 to 2, just depending on what foundation it is and what kind of coverage I'm looking for. So I feel like you do have to use a lot of product. Makeup Forever is normally a brand that I love their foundations. I think that their HD foundation, their Ultra HD foundation, their Stick HD foundation is really great. But this one just was not a win for me, unfortunately. I will say that I enjoyed the product more when I used less. So when I put that first coat on, I really did enjoy it. I actually wore this to the farmer's market last Sunday. I just put like 1.5 pumps and kind of buffed it on my face because I just didn't feel like doing any makeup really, but I wanted something to kind of blur the redness. And I liked it better when it didn't have a lot of product. Once you start adding in the product, that's when I started to see the problems on my face. So that might be something that other people have had the same experience with, or maybe people like it more with more product. Makeup Forever did create a sponge to go with this product that they recommend using. I personally did not purchase that sponge because I love using a beauty blender. I don't like when brands create a brush or a sponge or some separate tool that you have to purchase with that foundation or whatever to use to make it go on appropriately. To me, that's not okay. I want to be able to purchase a product and be able to use what I have at home and have it go on. Like, to me, that should be the quality of the product, that it shouldn't matter what you're using to apply it. I do know that some products go on better, for me at least, with a sponge rather than a brush and vice versa, but I don't think you should have to go out and buy a specific product. You know what I'm saying? I do have a Tarte powder foundation. I think it's the Tarte Full Coverage Amazonian Clay Powder Foundation, something like that. And it did come with a kabuki, well, it didn't come with, but it had a separate kabuki brush that they recommended. I did buy that separately, but I never use it. That thing sits in my drawer. And you can actually use it with other things. So I don't care for products being created just so you have to spend more money. That doesn't make me look at a brand and say, I get what you're doing here. I like that. Foundations are expensive as it is. If you want one that's good quality, don't make us buy another product. Don't make us do that. Overall, for me, this product was not a win. I'm not a big fan of it. I think there's a lot of other foundations out there that give a similar finish but wear better on my skin. If you try this product out and you love it or you hate it, let me know. I'd be so interested to see what other people think. I've tried to watch as many videos as I can and read as many reviews on like the Sephora website as possible because it's so interesting. Like, I have dry skin, somebody else who has dry skin might love it, or they might hate it, you know? I mean, it doesn't even have to be somebody within the same skin type. It's just amazing how things work differently for everybody, you know, individually. So if you try it out, let me know what you think. I hope this review was helpful for somebody out there. Even if it was helpful for one person, then it was totally worth it. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.